Hello, and welcome to the When We Cry Umineko Bookclub podcast. I am your host, Lorenzo, joined by
Death. Hello.
Whoa.
As Corey.
Murph.
Marcy.
And Mushroom.
Whoa, we did it! Wow, first try too. Only 30 seconds, and we have 3 extra guests. Or not guests, but new hosts. Hello.
Hello.
It's very exciting.
What's up? How's everybody's lives so far? What's going on? We haven't recorded in close to 3 months.
That's crazy.
Since last
How's
time.
my life so far?
Yeah, okay. I think I promised Des that I would tell this story in recording, so I want to share a very funny story about me and Lorenzo.
We touched tips.
We did touch tips across the screens. This happened a month ago. Wow, that's crazy. I don't understand how time works. So a month ago,
literally, right?
Magfest, that's in Maryland. While I was there, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna dress up in my Erica costume, and I was like, oh, maybe I should like meet up with other Umineko people. So like, I just like posted on like Twitter. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be at Magfest. Like somebody should say hi to me. And then Dest immediately messaged me and was like, Lorenzo's at Magfest, and I was like, why the fuck would Lorenzo be at Magfest? Like, I thought he's on the West Coast.
Why the fuck was I there, you know?
Why the fuck were you at Magfest, Lorenzo, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know, we did like a little Spider-Man pointing situation,
Yeah, it was so
know?
funny. So basically the first day I was there, I was just like frantically messaging Lorenzo. I was like, Lorenzo, if you see me, like, I said I was like, I'm Asian, I'm wearing a red jacket. And Lorenzo was like, cool, very descriptive. And then so basically because I knew that like Lorenzo really likes rhythm game and I basically just lives in the rhythm game section, so I was like, well, I will be playing like Hatsune Miku or Mai Mai like constantly for like hours on hours. So I think we ran into each other on the second day or the third day. And
I believe so.
Yeah,
both days.
Yeah, and it was
or
so funny because we just like saw each other, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Lorenzo!" And we hugged, and it was cool. And I was like, "Wow, I can't believe it! Lorenzo's a real human person, and not just a figment of my imagination."
I'm still a figment of your
just
imagination.
Yeah, like this is definitely a real figment of my fake imagination. Like one day, I was like, Des, if you come to America, like hit me up. Like this will be very fun. But yeah, it was so funny to see Lorenzo in the human flesh.
Yep, it was
As opposed to the non-human flesh.
And the non-human flesh. But
yeah, I know. I was just a Cronenberg abomination just wandering the Magfest halls.
Yeah, it gets more and more ridiculous because while we were at Magfest, Lorenzo sent me a picture where a person is walking around with a gigantic Goda standee. And I was like,
oh, yes, I saw this.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a gigantic Goda standee and this person is just walking around with it. And the whole day, basically, I was just like running around trying to find the standee because I just didn't see it. And then, so I was like telling Lorenzo, I was like, please tell the person that I'm trying to find them. And then like I ran into the only other 2 Umineko cosplayers that I saw is just a pair of people who was like Beatrice in the short skirt and Battler, who gave me a butterfly paper. It's like a little butterfly sticker, and they were like, "Oh, this is your like invitation to the Golden Land," which I was like, "Wow, amazing!
Aww, so
it's so cute."
That's so cute.
Yeah. So I spent a whole day basically trying to find the Goda standee, and I even I found them on Twitter basically. So I like tweeted at them, and I was like, "Please, like find me! Like I need to take a picture with you," and. While I was, like, on the last day of the convention, while I was standing in line, like, getting a piece of art, I was loudly...
Wait, before you get there,
Yes?
didn't you also tell the couple cosplayer that if they found the Goda guy
Yes!
to let them know that an Erika cosplayer was looking for them? Okay, so at this point, the Goda guy had heard from, like, 4 different sources that there was an Erika cosplayer looking for them.
Yeah, so, like, a frantic Erica cosplayer who's like declaring like, you have to find me. Like at this point, like I'm just like I was like, please, like it's the last day of con and I've been looking for you for 3 days and I've been hearing about you. Like I just want to find this Goda standee. And like so like this is now like the last day of con. The convention is like 4 days, and like I was like loudly in the like artist alley, like basically complaining about my life, like standing there, like basically like at like an art booth. And then Lorenzo heard my friend say my name, and Lorenzo turns and was like, mushroom? And I was like, yes. So, like, Lorenzo just found me found me randomly in Artist Alley because I was just complaining about my life incredibly loudly, and about how I was like, wow, I fucking hate these people. How could they possibly told me to do all this stuff? And then I was like, oh, hi, Lorenzo. And then,
Oh, hi, Mark.
like, yes, exactly. Hi, Mark. And then, so at that point, like this is the last day, and like I tweeted at the Goda person again, like on Twitter, like, and I was like, and like this is so ridiculous because I was like, oh, I just want to find this Goda standee person, and like, of course, like I opened up twitter.com and the first like post is like somebody being like, what the fuck? And like I only was able to find this person's Twitter because they replied to the original person and say like, oh, hey, that's me. So like, and this person didn't even open their DMs, so I couldn't even message them in DMs. So I was like replying to them in somebody else's thread, and I was like, oh, it's the last day now. Like, if I don't get to see you, like, I hope you have a nice con. Like, and I was like, I'm in my Erica costume, but my wig is too heavy, so I'm not wearing it. So like, if I don't see you, like, I'm just like being like, I'm just coming off as a crazy person. And then I was like standing in line to get another piece of art, and then somebody taps me on my shoulder and was like, hello, like, are you that Erica person that like I've been hearing about? This is the Goda Sandy. And I almost cried. I was like, thank you so much. I was like, oh my god, I'm taking pictures with a Goda Standee. I will now put a picture on it. So ecstatic. I was like, oh my god, the Goda is with me, and I get to stand next to the Goda. Oh my god.
I don't understand your hyperfixation with this mushroom. You don't even like Goda. What the hell?
But like,
It's because he sucks. That's
It's
why
because he
he's so
sucks.
lovable.
Yeah.
But like, it's also but like the whole point
Us
of this
Umineko fans, we're starving.
Yeah, exactly.
Any
Yes,
crumb
exactly.
of Umineko that's out there.
Yeah.
Any little piece of small bomb around.
Yeah, no, it was insane because I don't even like Goda, but like it was just so much fun to meet other Umineko fans. Like during the 2 days I was wearing my Erica costume, like 6 people came up to like want to take pictures with me, and that's like more than I thought there was gonna be. And like one person came up to me and was like, oh, like I really like your costume, and like I love Umineko, like I got my new name because of like Umineko. And I was like, oh, what's your name then? And they were like, oh, my name is B. Like, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I think like when I was like trying to describe the situation in Discord, and everybody was like, imagine they say my name is Rosa Umineko. But yeah,
Umineko fans would though.
They would.
Yeah.
Truly. I think the kicker was, also shout out to Napcakes 2 on Twitter, who is the Goda standee owner.
Yeah.
And you have to like actually see pictures of this thing, because it was like legit 7 feet tall, and it was just being carried around, passed between like person to person.
yeah, like it's
like,
a
the
pretty,
entire duration
like
of the
it's
con.
a really like crowded con. Like it's not like, you know, it's not easy to just walk around with this gigantic piece of cardboard. If you look at the Umineko Book Club chat, you can see the me with the picture.
Right. And the like 2 days after the con ended, the the Goda stand owner was like, you know, maybe I should actually start reading Umineko. Like, not actually reading it, or like at least reading a fraction of it. I don't know. It might have been a joke. I'm not completely sure, but I also have a little bit of lore about that person behind the Goda standee, because the thing about Magfest, as Mushroom explained, is that it's a very crowded place, and it's also a meeting place of a lot of internet related peoples. So you end up meeting not only your internet friends, but their friends and those friends of those friends. So you have like this like second and third degrees of like friendship going on. And that go to stand person happened to be a secondary friend. And I was hanging out with a tertiary friend. And I was wandering around. He's very cool. Shout out to my friend. But
Shout out to your friend.
shout out to my new mag friend. Go maggots. God hates mags. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, we were wandering the halls. We meet up with Sandy. Tertiary friend was like, nice to meet you. And then go to Sam person like gives us their Twitter handle. And we follow them, except tertiary friend was like, oh shit, wait, I already follow you. And like after a brief like moment of like silence,
Oh no.
tertiary friend was like, I don't know if I should say this, but like you have one of the my most favorite pictures I've ever seen on Twitter ever, but I don't know if this is like the place to say it, but and then we were just like, hey, it's Magfest, you can say anything here. And then tertiary friend was like, I think the picture with your balls showing is the most hilarious picture I've seen on Twitter. And I was like, I thought I misheard that, right? And then later that night, I didn't say anything, but then later that night, secondary friend / go to stand person was like, it's so funny when somebody recognizes you by their ball pics. And I was like, wait, are you serious? Like, is that real? And they were like, yeah, I post my balls on Twitter sometimes for fun. And I'm like, oh, okay. Anything goes, I guess. So
Yeah, you know how it is.
People do be.
there's my mag lore.
That's so
Yeah, truly. So everybody come to Magfest. Woo, it was very fun. It's honestly crazy. Like I've only been to like a handful of cons, but so far Mag has been like one of the crazier ones. Though I did hear Dragon Con's insane because it takes up like blocks of
Oh yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dragon
you
Con is
go to
huge.
Dragon Con? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, like, fuck. Who's the priest guy in Fate series? I keep forgetting what his name is.
Kotomine.
Yeah, Konomine.
Kotomine Kid.
Yeah, exactly. Konomine Kid. I met a cosplayer like who like literally looks identical to that man. He was just in his whole cosplay garb, and I was in my like Erica cosplay, and he was just enthusiastically waving towards my direction, and I was so weirded out that I wasn't sure if I was supposed to like because he was just like he waved at me like he knew me, and I was like trying to look at my phone, and then he ran towards me, and he was like, I'm a huge fan of Higurashi and Umineko, and I was like, oh. I was like that makes awesome. And then immediately was like I was just welcomed in by all these people who like gave me beer, and then I was like, oh great, and then I just drank the whole thing, and like I think like 20 minutes after we all started talking about visual novels, like they asked me how old I was, and I was like, you didn't even know how old I was, and you just gave me beer.
You
like,
gave me beer,
yeah,
yeah.
which I was like, of course, of age, like it was like not a big deal, but I was just like, this is ridiculous. But yeah.
Of course, I'm of age. I'm cosplaying a visual novel character. Everyone knows young girls in visual novels are always 18 plus.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very funny. But anyway, sorry. I guess that took us a while, but everybody else gets to say something.
Okay. As Marcy, you wanna give the book club audience a little bit of an introduction about yourselves?
Sure.
Oh yeah, sure.
You can go first.
Oh, go ahead. No. No.
Go
Don't
ahead.
put me on the spot.
Oh, I'll go.
Okay,
I'll go.
Give me orders. It's time to measure your... Oh, what?
I got it. I
Thank you, Mushroom.
am I don't know. I'm just chilling. I have been playing a lot of Fire Emblem Engage recently, and I have very
Yo!
mixed feelings
And you
about
didn't
it.
get the Fire Emblem Three Houses reference I just did? What the hell?
I only played one route of Three Houses and then couldn't continue.
It's from the trailer! Anyway.
I didn't spoil myself by watching the trailers either.
Okay, that's fine. So tell me about Engage.
It's fine. I like the maps and the units a lot, and the class system. I just think it's very poorly balanced.
Ah.
Oh, really?
Like the
the maps?
no,
Or
the
the
skill
character?
system is and like the money system is just
Oh yeah.
bad.
What difficulty are you playing on?
So I was playing on hard, and then apparently some of the like skirmishes can be made impossible to defeat at harder difficulties.
Yeah, not on maddening. You don't even have skirmishes, so the money problem isn't a problem because you just don't get skirmishes to grind money.
That's
Yeah.
so sad.
Or XP.
Yeah, my friend has been telling me about how difficult it is to get money on hard. It's like hard. I think she's playing hard casual, just because she's just like at this point. She says like the DLC maps are too fucking huge, and there's like 50 people you have to kill, and this takes forever to walk from one side of the map to the other.
I really only found one of the DLC maps to be challenging, and that was the Tiki one. Other than that, the rest of them I found to be pretty simple personally.
Yeah, I've beaten the game on hard, and I'm now on my not lunatic. What the hell
Maddening?
is this Awakening? Maddening
Toho
playthrough.
podcast.
I'm finding it incredibly easy, but maybe it's just because I'm that good of a tactician.
Shut the fuck up, then.
But
Brad.
I think engage. One thing I really like about Fire Emblem, real quick, I promise to make
Just
it quick.
coming out as a war criminal. I'm so good at war.
This is like, yes, I'm very good at this. Slaughter.
I'll make this very quick. But like one thing I really like about Fire Emblem as a series is that it's so fucking experimental. Like ever since Awakening and Fates were similar, but ever since Fates, every game has been so mechanically different, and even the tone of the story has been so different that I personally don't really vibe with Engage, because it's basically GBA Fire Emblem again with a basic plotline and basic characters. And I mean, next game will be extremely different again, whatever they do. So, all right, well, Marcy.
I haven't been up to much myself. I kind of had to pause on my work for a little bit because I had to take my laptop fan to get repaired. That didn't really work out. I had to get a cooling pad instead, and now it's super loud.
I feel that.
But other than that, I'm working on a video right now. Hopefully I want to put it out this month, but we'll see how it goes, because that was the plan before I had to get my laptop fixed, and I wasn't able to work for several days, so that kind of put me behind schedule a little bit. But
What's the video
hopefully. It's a video essay retrospective about Undertale,
Ooh.
Oh.
so that'll be fun.
So, Worth, you want to tell us anything?
I mean, aside from art school, I've mostly been playing a lot of Overwatch. I fell back into that
Overwatch
hole
1 or 2?
too. You can't play Overwatch 1 anymore. They destroyed it, demolished it. But Overwatch 2 is free to play, so
Damn.
I spent like $60 for nothing in the past.
What the
That
hell?
do be how capitalism works.
It do
Yeah.
be. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. New season started. They got a new map. There's penguins in it. I get yelled at for being a Zenyatta main, and then I carry. So
Oh, Zenyatta.
that's basically been my
That's
life.
fun.
We're into board games, am I right?
Oh, I've been. Have I ever? Oh my goodness. I've been playing so much. Oh my goodness. I have not touched a video game in years ever since I've been board gaming. It's a little bit kind of crazy. Not gonna lie. But it's fun. Do recommend. There was a whole ass, not to go back to Magfest, but they had a huge ass board gaming hall. An entire ballroom that's maybe the size of
Like a basketball court?
maybe yeah, like a basketball court, but it was completely full of people playing board games. It was a little bit nuts.
Damn.
That's awesome.
And then it was crazy. So I wholeheartedly recommend going if you're any sort of gamer. But one of the other coolest experience I had there was that they had this game called Blood on the Clock Tower. Has anybody here heard of it?
No.
Nope.
So, if anybody has played Werewolf, or
No.
Among Us, I guess,
Among Us.
right?
Oh, yeah, the card game, right?
Yes,
That you play with
yeah,
regular
like
cards. Yes, I love that game. There's
One
a
Night
narrator and
Ultimate
everything.
Werewolf.
It's like D&D but with cards. It's so fun.
Exactly. You might actually like this one a lot. It only costs $150.
What is this limited edition with amiibo?
With the low price of $150.
Board games are
Well, that's
stupid expensive.
Yep. Don't look at my collection. But anyways, I actually don't personally have this one because it requires like for a really fun game at least 10 people to play it, which at Magfest you can make it happen. But what it is Werewolf, except instead of just maybe a handful of people having like abilities that can either help or hinder like the group, you have everybody with an ability, and even if they get killed throughout the game, they can still communicate. So you can like you'll never really know what somebody's like role is unless there's like a role that's like, you know, oh, they died because they had this role that specifically kills them if they die, that sort of deal. But it leads into a sort of like Pepe Sylvia like logic puzzle where it becomes like, okay, well, if they said this and he said that, but then like these two people said this, like you have to like kind of trace your way backwards based off of what everybody purports their roles to be. It's crazy. They started at like midnight and we ended at 3:30 a.m. and I was like,
Damn.
it didn't feel like anything at all. I mean, obviously like it was, you know, 3 a.m. brain mode right then and there, but it was so fun just like meeting and talking to like all these strangers. Like this guy I met just like straight up lied to my face and I thought I trusted him for this like 3 hours, but it was fine. It was okay. And then I ended up sitting next to this lady. She like was she looked really experienced, right? She looked like she's like, oh, I love this game so much, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then we started talking about board games, and then I told her I was playing this one called Gloomhaven. For you board game hens out there, I've been playing Gloomhaven a lot. But she's like, oh yeah, I've been playing like Frosthaven, the second iteration of the game that came out like the month prior to when we were talking. And she's like, I'm already on like scenario number like 53, and I'm like, it takes 4 hours to legit play like a scenario, and she played 50 plus scenarios in a month, which is insane. And then I was like, wait a minute, I saw you're a YouTuber, you're a board game YouTuber. I saw your videos because she had a YouTube video where she reviewed the game after playing it 50 times, and I was like, there's literally only like 2 people in the world who've probably played the game this much. And I was like, oh my god, you're a YouTuber in real life. I mean, you meet a lot of people on
Well, you are a YouTuber in real life too, Lorenzo. What the hell?
Oh, I guess, but like she's a
real
YouTuber in real life.
YouTuber.
I'm a figment of your imagination. You literally just like imagined me up like in foster home for imaginary friends. I'm like the I'm like those remember that episode where they had like those scribble imaginary friends that babies made up and they could only handle one task, otherwise they'd like scream and like lose their shit because they can't handle more than one thing at a time? That's me. You came up with that and that became me. So
okay.
Thank you,
It's just
Lorenzo.
board games.
It's just board game.
just board games. Anyways, let's get on with the review. Not the review, but I need to leave soon, so I will do my best to do a quick TLDR of where we left off last on the book.
I didn't even get to. Okay, that's fine.
Oh wait, shit, really? Oh wait, no, sorry, go for it.
I'll
Speed
leave it
run.
for the next one. It's fine. We
What is it?
We don't have a lot of time. You're right.
No, we need to talk about your tuna. Just tuna,
I'm like, no,
by the way.
that's too much time. We don't have enough time for that.
Well, TLDR for everybody listening, Des, he's been on this tuna grind, you know, just fishing. Making
Such a
sandwiches.
bad like way to explain what this has been doing. It would only cause more confusion.
Playing that tuna
Yeah.
music. You can tune a fish, but you can't tune a piano, or the other way around.
Oh my fucking!
Yes. Let's leave everyone confused and not explain anything. Perfect.
Wonderful.
I think
Tuna
that's it.
That's it.
That's what they do in Portugal. You know, the joke goes the other way around, but in Portugal, it's different. Like, they be tuning those fishes.
Yes. All right, we've been tuning those fishes, and we've been
Oh boy,
booking
G
this
major,
club,
G minor. Yes.
right?
All right. Sorry for skipping over you, but we will get on to the review.
Let's
Ready?
go.
All right, cool. So, last we left off, we have that Lady Erica, solving the riddle with Battler, and everyone's like, okay, we got to go tell Kinzo. And Natsuhi's like, wait. Kinzo's still taking a nap. You can't bother him right now. Just don't go in there. Probably until next year, even. Maybe forever, actually.
Maybe until the next book club, which is...
Yeah, until the next book club. So, everybody rushes to Kinzo's room to give him the news that somebody saw the epitaph riddle, and everyone's being awfully suspicious of how silent it is inside. And Natsuhi, backed up by the servants, are just telling them, "Hey, don't bother him. You know how much of an asshole he is. You don't want to wake him up, right?" So all the other family members are just saying what the hell? We have to tell him. This is literally the one and only thing in the world that we should open the room for. So instead of, finding a way in through the main door of Kinzo's study, the family members go into the courtyard and get a ladder, and they break in through the window, and lo and behold, Kinzo's not there. Everyone's suspicions are even greater, right? And all the meanwhile, Natsuhi, along with, Beatrice on her shoulders, trying to reassure her that they can, suss their way out of this. But Erica comes along, and she just tells them, I wonder why Kinzo's not here. That's really weird, isn't it? So they're all just saying stuff or Natsuhi and the servants, they're all trying to come up with, excuses. Oh, Kinzo, he, slipped out. And Erica tells them, well, that slip of paper that we put in earlier in the study doors crack didn't get disturbed. They made an impromptu seal on the door, and it hadn't been opened ever since yesterday or so, since Natsuhi and the servants last serviced the room. So they're like, well, Kinzo didn't leave through the door, where'd he go? So then Beatrice is about to pull out her her witchery before Erica brings up our favorite character, and this is Jess's time to shine.
Yes!
Delanor.
Die to death! Sentence to death! Great equalizer, use the death!
Yeah.
There she is.
There
I gotta say, this is probably my most favorite character design in the novel. It's this weird, admittedly she looks like a young girl, probably a bajillion years old though. She's this weird chess piece looking bishop character.
Yeah,
right? Her name is Delanor.
Yeah, and she also
has
looks
a big
Delanor,
coat, a big head that has those strands that look like Glaceon's ears that also look like hair, and it's really cute. But then she has
she's
a massive fucking gauntlet in her arm, she's
she
from
looks
Ciconia or
she
some
just walked
shit.
out of
She's
Ciconia.
free advertising.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she has those leg warmers that also have that leg window like Corin does. I don't know what that's for, but it looks cool. And then she has the fucking iconic Ryukishi swimsuit, because of course Ryukishi had to give that to literally everyone
she
who
has a
can.
bid.
I'm sure even fucking Eva is wearing the swimsuit below the dress or something.
She has a bid, and she has that weird thing in her midriff that's just
I'm
a
waiting.
metal part.
What is it?
Everything about her looks amazing, and her drills. She has
Lorenzo?
drills. That's very, very important.
Yeah, I love Knox.
Another Umineko podcast, Hidden Tea Party, calls them fanny frills, which, yes, they are.
Good.
Fanny frills. Wait, sorry, what's this leg windows leg warmers? What?
Like Vanor has this puffy leg warmer / reverse shorts thing, right?
Oh, she's just wearing ashless chaps, but backwards.
Ashless chap backwards.
All right, backwards, ashless chaps. Yeah, it's a really weird outfit, below the belt, but above the belt, it looks awesome. So let's
It
focus on
looks
that.
awesome below the belt too. What do you mean?
She's a little girl. I just finished reading Lolita last month.
Okay,
Everything.
well, I'm talking about the outfit, not the person it's on. The outfit is really cool.
You're right. You would catch me dead wearing that at Magfest one day. So, tune in next time for me wearing my backward assless chaps. So,
With
anyways,
Goda at the board game hall.
truly, yes, all of us. But Delanor pops in, this weird robot-looking girl. She talks very robotically. I think in Japanese she uses a liberal amount of desus.
Yes. And I think in the Japanese text, the last word in every sentence, in English it's capitalized. I think in Japanese it's written in katakana.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
think.
which makes her sound even more weird, foreign, and robotic. I mean, her name is Ronald, but backwards, right?
Yes.
Looking
It's
at
a-
her.
Knox.
Yeah, it's
She
like
pops in.
anagram.
Yes,
Anagram.
or I think it's just straight up Ronald backwards.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know
It
what the A.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it just backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, technically, yes, an anagram, but you have this little robot girl who's the embodiment of like living by the rules, to put it lightly.
Oh, damn.
To
That's
back
so cool.
up Erica. Well, I don't. Okay, I mean, you can cut this, but I was just gonna be like, she's autism incarnate. Like, I mean, Erica
true.
is too. But she's like this literal weapon, along with her servants Gertrude and Cornelia. They're here to help prove that it's they're here to reinforce like the basics of any good detective story within this closed room mystery. So Kinzo's nowhere to be found. The windows and doors are sealed, and Beatrice is doing her best to be like, well, okay, well, Natsuki said she talked to Kinzo, but what's to say that she didn't actually talk to him through the phone and he's actually somewhere else on the island? Or maybe like Kinzo is an abstract concept and not an
Yeah, she
actual
calls
person.
the room Kinzo now.
Which is like, okay, well, she's just grasping at straws at this point. But then Badler comes up and backed up with like the spirit of Kinzo, anime style, where they have like, you know how in some shows there's like the spirit or like their mentor like in the background, they're
Yes.
like nodding approvingly while the main character's doing their like having their shonen moment. So Battler goes to have his shonen moment and he's like, okay, well, there's only one explanation behind how Kinzo escaped this room, and it's through the courtyard. So he explains that Natsuhi did indeed service the room, but when she wasn't looking, Kinzo jumped out the window into the courtyard, and then she locked the window, closed the door, and that can totally explain the entire reason why Kinzo was not present in the room while, when
Natsuhi
the
was
family
in
was
it.
searching for them. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
While
this
Natsuhi-
whole exchange is like the textification of that one meme where it's just like this guy doing gymnastics and it's like the mental gymnastics of blank.
Exactly.
Truly, but he actually did like real gymnastics by jumping out the
Yes.
window. And,
Yeah,
and even
he did.
Beatrice is like, "Oh my goodness, you saved me, Battler!" And she jumps into his arms, Prince Charming style. And she's like, "Oh, this is just like when." But before I go into that, it'll be spoilers. So let's talk about this segment of the book without introducing spoilers. What do you all think?
I think it's great.
I think I have some thoughts for the spoiler-free part. Renzo, how much time do you have left? Because I can leave them for the spoiler part.
No, go for it. We can talk until we're done discussing non-spoilers, and then I'll skadoodle.
Okay.
So go for it.
I find it really, really funny before they get into the study. And Erika and Butler are basically having this mystery dick measuring competition where they're like testing each other's trivia. And then Butler wins. And then after winning, it's just like, how do you rub in the face of a spoiled brat like Erika that they just lost in a better way than to downplay your own skill after beating them at their game? Fucking...
Yeah, he's like, I don't even read that many books.
Yeah!
Like, I don't even know how to read.
I'm actually stupid.
I'm actually illiterate. Get fucked, Erica.
Can't read books, but he
I've
can
never read a
read
book
her
in my
for
life.
filth.
I don't even
Actually-
know how to read. My brother was reading, not me.
So that did remind me, actually, one thing that I thought was kind of funny that I wanted to bring up, because I was rereading these parts, like sort of skimming it in preparation this morning. And there's a part where Erika makes a reference to a book by Ayatsuji Yukito, and Beatrice points out, hey, that book doesn't actually come out until next year because it's 1987. It was the Decagon House Murders.
Yeah.
And while I was looking this up, I did not realize that this author is also the author of
Another,
which is the basis for the anime series of the same name.
Yeah, do you also know that guy, he is also the husband of the woman who wrote Shiki and Ghost Hunt. So
Oh shit!
Oh,
I didn't know
fuck
that.
no, I hate Shiki. Oh my god.
Okay.
I mean,
I think
was fun.
Shiki's fun. If you have to say something I hate, God, I fucking hate Decagon House. Okay, this is me as a person who I really like his work. Like, I actually read every single one of, or not every single one of his books, but like, I read all of his house series. Like, his later house series are great. Like, Nightmare House is good, Clock House is good. None of these things are translated into English, so it's not like I can recommend it to anybody. But like, I own Another. It's on my shelf. Like, despite of the fact that I think the book is okay, but like I literally own the manga and the book, so I don't know what that says about me as a person. But like, he's a weird dude. Also, this is another cool fun fact about him is that he actually exists in the universe of Bungo Stray Dogs. They boyed him, and
when I looked him up, I saw the Bungo Stray Dogs wiki entry first, and I was like, no, please.
That's not even the worst part. The worst part about this, the most unacceptable part about it, is not only that he's anime boyified him in Bungo Stray Dog, is that he has a partner, like not like a romantic partner, but a person who works with him, who's supposed to be like his like second hand, and it's like somehow it's just another writer and not his wife. Like, they could have made his wife into Bungo Stray Dogs and just made them a canonical thing, but no, they didn't. They had to just write another person, even though she also writes like mystery / horror, so it made a lot of sense to have him in, but have her in. But you know, like,
we can't acknowledge a woman.
Yeah, exactly. Women are just not real.
Name
They're
a woman.
Just like, they're also a figment of your imagination. There's no women in this world.
Yeah, Beatrice, figment of your imagination. That's because women aren't real.
I was about to say, isn't that the plot of Umineko?
The plot of Umineko is just a bunch of people hallucinating a bunch of women.
Isn't that Higurashi?
It could be both.
When you really get down to it,
If we think about all of Ryukishi's works, doesn't it all just come down to the same thing?
Ryukishi's
It's
stories are all
big hysteria
about,
moment.
like, yeah, exactly. It's all about your imagination and the scary woman that comes with it.
So true.
and the fail wife responsible for that imagination, Natsuhi.
Yeah, it's behind every
Who
crime
is-
is an imaginated evil woman.
Can I just say, by the way, I love
So that's
Natsuhi
the
in these
message.
chapters. I think it's really funny how you sort of have that segment where Beatrice is sort of outlining their method for escape, where she's like, giving all of these blue truths, like, hey, she could have talked to Kinzo on the phone, or she could have been calling the room Kinzo, those are things that could explain this. And then Erica comes out and she's like, okay, so I just want to make sure that you're not fucking with me. I just want to make sure that you're not, like, really stupid. So could you please clarify these things for me? Like, you wouldn't do something really dumb, like say that you talked to him in this room when you were really talking to him on the phone, right? And she's like, no, of course not. But she's like, okay, cool. So you wouldn't also call the room Kinzo. Like, that would be really stupid and dumb to do. And she's like, yeah, of course I wouldn't do something like that. What do you take me for, an idiot? And then she, like, fully pauses for like 30 seconds and she's like, oh no.
Yeah. It's fucking wild to me that, like, I feel like there's no way you don't hate Erica on your first read through. Like, she's just too much of a person to hate. Like, you're like, it's insane. Like, she is so awfully conniving and also just a petty bitch. And, like, and just, like, I don't know, like, so far when you read to, like, not before this scene, you already think, like, she's an awful person, but, like, you see her, like, destroy Natsuhi, like, just in this scene specifically. And Eva is just goading her on. Eva's like, yeah, fucking get her! Fucking
Get her, Erica.
get her ass!
I hate that bitch. She had a kid.
Yeah, I think this is actually that is a good note to make, because before this point, it's like, I mean, you can clearly tell that Erica is sort of like snide and like she feels like she's intellectually superior to a bunch of people, especially with like when she visits the crime scene and she's like, move out of my way, bitch, I am the detective. But like to a certain extent, you still don't really get the full picture of like how up her own ass she is until now, where it becomes like incredibly clear, like, oh no, this is like she's a weirdo, like she's full on
She's a
weirdo.
little fucked up.
Yeah, and also just all of the Erica faces they are, like, you know, they're good
So
faces.
good. So good.
I think this.
I don't know, guys. They're kind of weird.
You don't like
They're a
them? Like,
little bit-
genuinely don't like them?
They're like ahegao core, you know?
Yeah, that's what makes
Not
them
yet.
so charming,
Well,
so
yeah,
iconic.
exactly.
It's Erika.
Also,
Yeah,
her faces in the OG sprites, so good.
Exactly. I
They're
think
very
good.
Sprites.
Kishi fucking gets it. Like, I just want to, like, okay, I actually want to talk about her ahegao core faces, because this is actually really funny. So, I don't know if anybody watches the anime Kageguri, but, like,
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, basically, all of our friends look forward to, like, we call it the lesbian gambling anime, because it's I have a whole video I have a whole video essay that I'm working on about the fact of like is Kageguri male gaze or is Kageguri female empowerment? It is a true question that like that haunts me at my nighttime, because I'm like, is girls being horny about gambling like a powering thing? But like the thing about it is like okay, so like Erica clearly is getting off on something, and it's definitely
On something.
Wagaruji.
and like exactly, like, you know, like she's having a time of her life. like and it's like I feel like, honestly speaking, like Broke is using ahegao core faces for food. Like Woke is using ahegao faces for anything else than food and sex. It's truly what you should be doing. Like, so yeah, no.
You and I go
Chopsticks.
update my bank account and greet the bank employee
Exactly.
with an ahegao.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, it's truly like, I don't know what Liu Kishi was on, but like he does like some fucked up women to write
He
them.
tapped into
I agree.
something. He truly did.
He loves girls that boss.
Yeah, they keep
Wait, that
women.
reminds me of a copy pasta I just heard today. What the hell? What did it go like? Like, I want a girl who can fuck me up, like watermelon on dice crush my skull, like really fuck me up. You get what I'm saying? Like really make me go crazy. I'm fucking crazy, you know? Like,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So this is a side of you that you should put away and never show again.
We're now demonetized.
Oh my god. I mean,
It's funny because she's just a lawyer. I mean, it's like I came back. Well, we have this person who came to work, or like he's new to our workplace, but he's been working for a while, so he had to go to court. And he's the most chill guy ever I've met, right? And he had to go to court to testify. And when you go to court to testify as an expert witness, you kind of had to, like, quote unquote, prove that you're fit to testify expertly, right? So
you have to prove that you're a reliable narrator.
Yeah, actually. So he's like, again, I said he has 20 years experience, right? He's super chill, awesome. Like, you would totally expect it to go swimmingly. They're like, yeah, you're an expert witness, right? And he's like, yeah, I've been like working in the field for a really long time. And he comes back to work to like pick up his stuff, and he's like, I'm like, hey, how'd it go? And he's like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to swear. It's like, you know, I'm so new. I don't want to, like, you know, make a bad impression. And I'm just like, dude, just let it out. And he's like, oh my God, that lawyer was such a fucking asshole. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, he kept like questioning if I was like an expert on, you know, after working in the field for so many years. But I'm just like, wow, this is just like an Umineko when the cry win. But that's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
On Erica Core people.
Erica Core.
Erika Core people.
I also do think this is the moment in time where the whole duct tape shenanigan starts shifting from Ava to Erica, which is the best part of Erica's character.
Is her duct tape.
Yes.
Well, this is receipt time, but
Yeah,
It's
she
all-
hasn't ducked any
It's
tape
proto
yet.
duct tape.
It's all
but you
part
can
of
see
the
cogs
same
turning.
part of the same shtick.
Yeah.
But hey, we're not there yet.
But the thing that I find really fascinating about this chapter is that, like, this is basically the revisiting of EP1's argument between Natsuki and Eva. It's the and it's the argument between the solution that was propositioned at that time by Battler is, what if Kingzul climbed underneath the bed, and when you were checking the bathroom, he left during that time, and then so, like, you know, he was gone during the whole time, but, like, you just, like, not gone during the whole time, but, like, he was gone during the specific amount of time that you didn't see him, and and he basically was able to sneak out. And then, like, Eva's like, why would he do that? And it's like, well, you know, we don't know why he did that, but, like, you know, it's possible, so, like, you should stop pointing a gun at your, your relatives now. And I think about that scene a lot, because it's really fascinating, because the EP, like, all of the later arcs are just, like, a reflection on the earlier arcs, where they just revisit arguments, and they just get more and more souped up, and now it just results in Battler jumping out of a 3-story building and, you know, not breaking his, like, knees caps or something. It's still pretty impressive.
It's like the reason it escalates this much is because fucking Furudo Erika herself is in the room, and she escalates this shit to, like, inhumane levels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually really enjoy sort of the end point of the argument, where when Battler jumps out and everybody's like going nuts, they're like, oh my god, I can't believe, you know, he's done this, and Erica's like, okay, let's reel it back, let's be reasonable here. Are you telling me that this old man jumped out of a 3-story window, and everybody around her just kind of sits there and, like, commiserates, like, crosses their arms, and like, yeah, like, grandpa's fucking crazy, he would do that.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
sounds about right.
Everyone is in agreement. Yeah, Kinzo's batshit crazy, and this courtyard, like, everybody seems to be running to this courtyard for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that even now the Ushiromiya siblings and everyone around them are still in that, like, mindset of, like, yeah, my parent can do anything. He's fucking superhuman. Like, have you met this man?
It's
You don't
it's
understand.
Like, it's a thing. It's the I wouldn't put it past grandfather argument that just, like, always wins, because everyone is in agreement that Kinzo is just weirdly, like, capable of doing weird shit and, like, achieving it. Like, he revived the Shiromiya family from nothing. He sits around in his room all day, like, doing nothing, trying to revive a witch. Like, nobody can quite understand what's going on in that man's head.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past grandfather is probably one of my favorite running jokes in the entire BN, honestly.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Another really funny thing, or rather, a couple of other really funny things in this chapter, in these 5 chapters, I mean, in this scene. I don't know what was up with Ryokeshi during the writing of this chapter, but he was
It's just a
really,
long chapter.
he was feeling ticklish in his funny bone, because there's a lot of funny conversations in here. Like before they get into the room, and it's just like at this point we already know Kinzo is dead. It was revealed at the end of EP4, but obviously the characters in the game board are still trying to, like, like, Natsuhi's trying to hide it, but not all the servants are on her side. Goda isn't in on the thing, on the secret. So, like, there's this, Natsuhi's, like, actively not only trying to combat Eva, but also trying to keep Goda from self-destructing her plan.
Oh god, it's so funny.
Because Goda is just like, don't tell anyone, but even I work here, and I sometimes forget the master even lives here. And then he's just like, Goda, that's not the sort of thing a servant should be saying.
No. But we can't forget that in Goda's internal monologue, he's like, oh yeah, bro, I'm making Natsuhi so proud. Like, look, I even remembered the ladder. Like, no one else remembers that. I'm so good.
Yes.
Like, Madam's gonna be so proud of me.
It's so funny when, like, he already says it that one time where he's like, oh yeah, I sometimes forget the master even lives here, and Natsuhi's like, Goda, shut up, and he's like, oh yeah, sorry. And then later in the same conversation, he says like, you know, it may be true that I haven't seen him for a couple of years, but like there's no reason you should say this.
Okay.
Goda is truly just comedy genius. Like, I don't know, like, he's so, it's just so funny. Like, I think I have this
Goda's one of the funniest characters.
Yeah. Like, some people are just naturally funny, and, you know, that person's just Goda.
Yeah.
So true.
And there's
really
also this
brightens
one
up a
scene
room.
where Natsuhi is trying to get some, like, support from the other people who are in on the secret. So she turns to Nanjo, being like, hey, help me out here a bit. And then Nanjo freaks out and turns to Kumasawa and asks Kumasawa for help.
They're all incompetent.
Everyone is so incompetent. Yes, everyone is so incompetent on Natsuhi's team. She's fighting alone. It's incredible.
It really,
She's doing her best.
it really casts sort of a, oh my goodness gracious, what's that noise?
That sounded like a snap sound effect. Are you okay?
Sorry, I think somebody was driving a motorcycle out back or something.
It was the bite of
But,
87.
no, what I was gonna say was, I think it casts a funny light on a lot of previous episodes as well. Like, you know, when you look back with the knowledge that these people are helping Natsuhi cover up Kinzo's death, the like
terrible liars.
outlandish lies that they have to tell. In particular, I think it's really funny when they're talking about like magical shit, and when you can tell the moment that they just give up. Like Goda is like, I have no idea. I can't explain to you what I saw, so I'm not gonna try.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't remember the script. I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying. Some shit happened. Like, it's so funny. Like, I don't, like, it's kind of crazy to me to think of, like, you know, knowing that Kinzo has been dead since, like, you know, the very beginning of the story. It's kind of crazy. Then you go back to read all the, like, the question arcs, and you're like, how did they fucking get away with it? Clearly they did, like, you know, they basically were, like,
literally
struggling at every single turn.
And literally
my favorite...
in like the first episode, Klaus like fucking like knocks on the door, and Genji's like, shit, like, what should we do? And Klaus is literally like, yeah, I don't fucking know, he's been dead for a while.
Yeah, I was just about to bring
it in
that
like
up.
a metaphorical sense.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, literally in episode 1, he's like, my father has been dead for a long time, and that's just the ghost of him in there or whatever. And you think, like, when you're reading it for the first time, you're like, yeah, okay, Krause, you're just
like,
being,
that's
like,
a cool
dramatic.
metaphor,
And it's like,
man.
no, he's just literally saying the truth.
No, he's being dead ass. That man dead, a fucking corpse.
It's like all my apes gone, metaphorically and literally.
He's like, metaphorically,
apes
not
gone.
see.
Father
I didn't waste
gone.
this money.
I
my
sold the
God.
house as collateral for my NFT collection. That's it.
Another funny thing this chapter is, given the context that Lambda Delta is writing this game, I think it's funny that Lambda Delta was basically writing Battler Beato fanfic.
Right, yeah.
Lambda would ship them, though.
Lambda's a shipper. Like, Lambda's a shipper on deck. Like, Lambda knows what's up. Like, it's funny to, like, think of, like, if you see Umineko from that perspective and being like, you know, like, I feel like Lambda out here is, like, playing, like, her chess game where she's like, yes, I get to write this. I'm gonna write all the good Biavato good moments into my fanfiction. And then she's like, Battler has been really
feed my shippers.
Yeah, it's like, and then I like how in Lambda's brain it's like, well, Battler has been pretty useless. We gotta write him cooler than this. And then wrote that, like, you know, he solves the epitaph.
Yeah, as soon as somebody else takes over for Battler, he becomes much more competent.
Which goes along nicely with the meta narrative, because Bator has been through this at least the 5th time now, so it's a nice marriage between game board Bator and meta Bator.
It's a little sad also, though, because it means that, like, throughout it all, Battler did have the potential to figure everything out the whole time.
Yep.
I mean, isn't that the point?
Yeah, no.
He was always a little smart, but he just chose to be dumb because he didn't want to suspect his family.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, and even now, I mean, like, obviously, we have the benefit of knowing that Natsuhi is going through a lot of shit right now, but from everybody else's perspective, all they know is that Natsuhi is kind of, like, strangely suspicious, but Battler is the first one to step up to be like, hey, stop bullying her. I'm gonna prove right now that actually nothing weird is going on because Grandpa's an insane person.
Battler Bully Buster Ushiromiya.
I really encourage everyone listening to go reread these 5 chapters, because not only are they really funny, but they also have so many little interesting moments. And I've seen a lot of people describe this as peak Umineko, because it's just such a meta. You have the meta battles, but it's such a nice. What's the expression? Horizontal slice? It's not horizontal.
Oh yeah,
cross-section?
yeah, horizontal slice. Yeah,
it's not cross. It's something like
It's like a microcosm of Umineko.
Yeah, exactly. It has a little bit of everything that makes Umineko great.
It also it seamlessly blends aspects of the meta world and like the game board, which I think is just so good.
I really like the transition where Erika is talking about, Natsuhi's suspicious statements, and then it seamlessly fades into the the meta border, and she's like, hey, Kinzo, come on out, buddy. And he's like, yeah, here I am. And she's like, you're fake as shit. You're not real.
God, Ryui Kishi could be so funny, man, sometimes. Like, you know what? It's shockingly funny.
This sure is an episode written by Lambda Delta.
Yeah.
It really
comedy
is.
genius.
It's really great to me because I think about this a lot. Like, like Lambda in a way is a great DM, like as a great GM. Like Lambda knows what's up. Like she skips all the parts that she finds boring, and then she gets to write her funny shit together, and she's just living out the dreams.
She wants entertainment.
Listen,
like she and Bern are
If your
bored.
game master's having a good time, everyone's having a good time,
Actually, speaking of just wanting entertainment, I think that's probably a good thing to bring up in regards to Bern, too, because, obviously Erika is supposed to sort of be Bern's stand-in right now. She's operating on her behalf. So you would expect that once Erika kind of starts, like, fail-girling at it, that Bern would be a little bit more upset. But no, she just laughs at her. She's just like, wow, you really are pathetic. This is great. I love this.
Vern Castell is the embodiment of bullying your D&D character.
Put that
Which
beast
I
in a
relate to.
situation.
Yeah, that's my beast. I made an Umineko version of that meme. It brings me so much joy. I also think it's funny that like Lambda Delta and Vern Castell join forces to just shit on Erika after literally everyone shit on Erika on the game board for telling her
is that on this
Kinzo could
chapter?
jump. Yeah.
Isn't that later?
No, it's in the
No, it
10
happens
wedges.
here.
It's at the very end where like everyone's like, yeah, Erika, Kinzo could jump out a window, so your theory's dumb. And then she starts like crying, screaming, pissing, throwing up, and then Lambda Delta and Vern Castell in the metaverse are like, yeah, Erika, stupid, dumbass, didn't think an old man could jump out a window.
I love
And then she starts
the
crying.
description. I love the description where they like. It's truly like, for most of this, like Erika has been trying to hold together her thin veneer of acting like a normal person, especially when everybody was complimenting her. She really enjoyed that. But now, once everybody like turned around and were like, no, that seems kind of implausible. I don't think I believe your theory. She goes from like acting super confident and like, yeah, I'm the coolest, and then grabs her head and starts screaming in front of everyone, which I think is really funny.
Having the most normal
She has a little
one.
meltdown.
Just having.
She doesn't even try to pretend to be a normal person.
Yeah.
No, she's so normal. What do you mean? I do that every day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. I read this 3 months ago, but I'm looking through the LP now, and it's all coming to me, like the scene where Baird and Lambda are like making fun of Erika's failures, and I remember thinking like, Bern, are you fucking hypocrite? She's you. Why are you calling her a fool? And then it just hit me. Bern is the kind of person who like, yeah, this was my plan, and then her plan fails, and she's like, yeah, that wasn't my plan.
I'm not owned.
I'm not owned crying. It's truly funny to me that Vern Castell like made her OC so cringe, and then had her girlfriend shit on your OC. It's like, your OC's cringe, and it's like, no, it's not. Goes home into the bathroom, cries.
No, Bern doesn't go into the bathroom and cry. She's like, she's crying on the inside, but on the outside, she's like, yeah, I made it specifically to be cringe. This was my intention, actually. I'm not so cool.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, I stand by it that Vern's the kind of person to just make an OC to shit on, and it's like, no, that wasn't me. That was my original character. You can't blame me. It's their personality.
You
Not
can't
me,
you can't criticize my
Frederica
review.
Berncastel. It is Frudo
Erica.
You can't criticize my review because the Nostalgia Critic is just a character that I play, you see.
Exactly.
I mean, we have basically spent a lot of time talking about non-spoiler parts. Should we talk about spoilers? Like, do people have a lot of thoughts on spoilers?
I think if you guys are done here, then I will have to dip out. But it was a very good conversation, nevertheless.
Well, I would like to maybe talk about Knox just a little bit, too.
Okay, yeah, let's...
Because...
before the spoilers? I was leaving that for the spoilers.
Oh, okay, I see.
For sure. Well, in that case, I'll cut off the non-spoiler section. If you haven't read past this part, please log off if you don't want to be spoiled. But in the meantime, thank you so much. We'll catch you later. See cats, do crimes. Goodbye. And spoilers. All right, everybody. Spoil the hell out of it. I gotta head out, but it was very nice listening to you guys converse about this past chapter, and looking forward to future book clubs with y'all.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Lorenzo and Ez, don't
So-
forget to save your recordings, please.
I'm going to delete it, actually. I'm going to stop at about 1 minute.
Farewell.
And with that said, yes, I can confirm this is Book Club 33, and next episode is Book Club 34!
Oh my god, we
Yes!
have
Let's go!
funny number.
Let's go.
It's the funny number.
I love that number.
What's the point of winning the lottery if you didn't choose the number 34?
Yeah, the funny
So
number.
true. You're certain to win.
Okay, so let's talk spoilers. Marcy, you wanted to talk about Knox. I want to talk about
Yeah.
Knox. Worth probably wants to talk about Knox.
I
Marcy
always wanna
for
talk
sure
about
wants to
Knox.
talk about Knox. We all wanted to talk about Knox, so let's
We
go.
all want to talk about the funny new character, Lenore A. Knox, and her posse of tall girls.
Yeah.
What?
I oh god, I love Knox. She's so, like, not, well, she can be funny, but, like, I don't know. I just think that her introduction here is so great because she immediately provides such a good contrast to every other sort of rival figure we've had up until now.
Yeah.
Where
I really
she's
love Dwanor because she's a really impartial villain, because she's just a representation of rules, and rules favor whoever plays by them.
right.
Yeah, and
she's
like the
very,
perfect
you know,
opposite of Erica too, who is just like they're such a good combo because they're so different.
right. And actually, since this is spoilers, we can also. This was brought up in the smoking room that I was in, but I've been thinking about it ever since because I think it was a really good note that it's really interesting how Erica is somebody who, you know, has a really hard, like, dedication to logic. She's, facts don't care about your feelings, okay? But, which is partially why I think that she makes such a good pair with Knox, despite the fact that she gets on her nerves quite a bit, to her own admission. Because to that end, Knox represents a sort of unchanging stability. She's always going to be defined by these rules, so there's nothing unexpected or, like, that's not in the cards for Erica in that regard. So I think even if she talks about her kind of like shit for a little while, which she's going to coming up, she's going to be like, you're just, you know, a murder doll. That's all you do. But even to that extent, I think she sort of finds her groove a little bit alongside Knox because of that, and I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, she can't have trust issues if she's dating a rule set, basically.
Exactly.
So true.
I really like their little relationship. I've talked about this in different episodes, but I've seen it in real life happen, and it's sad because in real life you don't have a cute girlfriend that represents the rules. In real life, people just don't have the certainty that Erika has with Wanor. There's always that uncertainty of not knowing whether what someone's saying is true or not, and whether they still love you or not. And I think it's I would love for Yukishi to go more in depth, but what we have with these two characters and their relationship is really good.
Agreed.
That uncertainty is kind of, I guess, like the central, I don't know if you would necessarily want to call it the tragedy of Erika's character, because for the most part, she is like, just a piece of shit that like
you understand where she's coming from. Like,
yeah, it's still that little nugget of nuance that's always present in even Ryukishi's like worst characters, that you're like, oh, well, I can at least understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I know we are, I know we won't be getting to this for a while, but I still just, like, I feel like I think the scene is in EP6 where Erika talks about the story about her and her boyfriend, and that, like, that, I feel like that explains, like, so many things about Erika, and it also explains a lot about ending of EP5, about the idea of like, could you write I love you in red, and like, what does that even mean? Like, and like, it's such a fascinatingly interesting thing that Yuikishi proposed, to the point that like, I like how Yuikishi just turns around and says, if you didn't understand my work, then you're a loveless version, and you're a fucking incel, and you just don't...
what's that quote? Umineko can't be understood by somebody who's never been in a relationship.
Yeah, no, I just truly,
oh my God.
Yuikishi truly out here being a fucking, like, Chad being like, wow, actually, if you didn't like my work, it's because you're loveless version. Get fucked.
It's because you've never gotten laid.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the funniest way to, like, own all of your readers. It's like people were already mad because they were like, wow, I can't believe Yukishi called me a goat. And it's like, actually, like, no, it's even worse than that.
Not only are you a goat.
But yes. But
Little did Ryukishi know that years later goat would become a good adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Honestly speaking, I just find, like, Erika's, like, characterization just, like, a very interesting way of, like, peeking into, like, how a person would get to, like, this extreme. Like, the making of a Ben Shapiro. Not specifically Ben Shapiro, but, like, as in, like, the making of a person
Ben Shapiro's backstory.
Yes, exactly. One of my favorite tweets of all time is the Ben Shapiro, like, it's like Ben Shapiro and his high school girlfriend. Yeah, it's just Erika. And I was like, you might not like this, but this is peak Twitter. Like, it doesn't get better than that.
I need you to know I was reading EP6 with CJ, and unprompted, without me even saying anything, he just kind of goes like, she's like Ben Shapiro for women. And I was like, I need you to know this is a thing in the fandom.
God.
To steer back to Knox for a second, too, I think, obviously we see more of this a little later on. It might even be in this episode, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, I think it is. But you get the sense right away when she has her confrontation with Battler out in the courtyard that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, there is something different about her, because instead of being like, oh, Shirobia Battler, you pathetic worm, I'm going to own you so hard with my magic, she's like, I respect this. I respect your bravery, and I respect your technique. Please face me properly so that I may applaud you.
I am, Yeah, I think Knox and her squad of tall women, as we say, are really fascinating because, like, you know, like this whole time we've been dealing with, like, you know, like devils and the witch's side and all that spooky wooky stuff, and then we have like actual like angels from heaven coming down, and in like a fun way with like Knox's commandments, because, like, you know, like the real Ronald Knox was like a religious person. But like I really like how Rikishi sort of uses that in what can be interpreted as like a take on the Ten Commandments as well, like from the Bible TM. AKA the biggest grimoire known is still actively used today, as Rikishi puts it in the tips.
Yeah, the power of love, the most strongest element in the universe.
No, but
yeah,
like,
you know, the literature Bible.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I just find it like really like a fascinating how like you can kind of draw those parallels between the two, and especially in the way Delano talks about them, which is getting a little ahead of ourselves because that's like in the next chapter, I believe. But you know, like how Delano already kind of talks about them in the sense that, like, you know, like you can interpret it in any way, and most people use these rules to like really tear down other like mystery novels and stuff, but like they're really just like, you know, like suggestions and like things to make stuff fair. And it's just kind of like, this is some interesting commentary, Rikishi. Are you saying that you should use the, you know, like your beliefs in order to help and lift up others regardless of what they are, instead of use them to tear people down? Incredible.
Yeah, gee, who would have...
Whoa, no way.
I was gonna say, with all this talk about Knox, I think we should actually first go over what Knox actually is and its function in Umineko, because when we started the pod, I was no, I wouldn't say confused, but like my interpretation of Knox apparently wasn't the right one. I was a little bit confused. Okay, let's go with that. So in case anybody else reading maybe doesn't understand why all the Knox rules are in red and why Dwanor uses a blue and a red sword and all of that, I think we should like just really succinctly explain Knox. So I'll shoot my attempt. You guys can complement my description if you want. So basically, back in the day when mystery novels were all the rage, some people were saying, "Oh, this mystery isn't fair. This mystery is fair." And so this funny man called Ronald Knox came up with a rule set, and others did. Knox, the Knox Decalogue, is one of the more popular. It's basically like if he did a YouTube video saying why some mysteries are fair and some aren't, and then made a rule set, and then people
a very
stuck with
cool
it
numbered
because,
list.
Yeah, because it was useful and most people agreed with it. And then Ryukishi wrote his funny story about trust, and how similar the trust between two people is between the trust between an author and a reader, and how like a reader has to trust that this author of this mystery novel wrote the mystery to be fair and is giving them enough hints, just like two people who are in love need to trust each other and like not be a furudoerika. Yeah. And then the reason the Knox rules are red is because if you take a look at all the red truths from the question arcs, basically all the red truths that Beato throws out are covered by the Knox Decalogue. Not a single red truth that Beato throws out isn't covered by the Knox Decalogue. So the red truths change a lot from question arcs to answer arcs in that regard. And why does that happen? Because in the question arcs, Butler doesn't trust Beato to be making a fair mystery. So once Knox is introduced, it's basically the story acknowledging Butler, in a way, Meta Butler acknowledging that Beato's mystery is fair. The clues are there, and it follows this set of rules that enables the story to not be the resolution to the story to not be a complete S-pull. And so yeah, it's basically validating Beato's mystery.
And that actually kind of leads into something that I wanted to say too, that Knox's introduction and the Decalogue being used now is sort of like an evolution of the game mechanics, quote unquote, of Umineko. It's another device to basically, put at the player's disposal to try to approach the mystery from. And it's also something that you can retroactively go back and sort of start to apply to your understandings of previous evidence, and sort of like try to sort that out and be like, okay, maybe this is a useful tool to be able to help sort these things out further that I didn't have before.
Yeah, this is a real change of pace in the game mechanics, as you say, because as the reader, you're looking at the story differently. You're essentially learning that there are tools to fight witch, and one of them is the Knox Decalogue, and that's why all the Knox rules are read. It's because you, as a reader too, basically are just since you already accept that Beato's mystery is fair, all of these rules automatically become red truth. Because it's like, it's not presumed. The word, like, what's the word for a racial stereotype, but for ideas? I guess
That is a
how
very
do you describe this concept? Like when you, what the hell?
fundament, like foundational, like it is the basis where I understand what you're I understand what you're trying to describe, but that is the funniest way to describe a word we cannot think of.
Prejudice?
No.
It's not what the hell?
No.
Well, whatever. You basically start your reasoning from the ground idea that all of these rules are already true.
Like a presupposition.
Presupposition! Yes, that was the word. Thank you.
English is a hard language made up by fucked up people.
It's so true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think the Decalogue is just such a fascinating thing to introduce. I think I just love the idea that this is what a proper mystery looks like, and like Ryukishi.
You might not like this, but this is peak mystery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like for Ryukishi to like apply like, like the Decalogue and later on even the 12 rules, like not 12, sorry, 20 rules. What I find the most fascinating is that even like the 10 Decalogues and the 20 rules.
The 10 Decalogues?
10
Holy
Decalogues.
shit, there are 10 Dwanners?
No, shut the fuck up. Words. But like these are all brought up in EP2, right? Like, or EP1. It's like in a very throwaway line where
In a passing line, yeah.
yeah, where just like Beatrice says it, and if you were paying attention, you would take a screenshot and be like, I'm gonna Google what that is. But like if you didn't, then it just it comes out and bite you again, like right now. Like it's just fascinating what kind of hints or things that Ryukishi already lay down, like basically thousands of words ago, just so he could get back at you later.
He's like, you should have been paying attention.
Should have been taking
notes. It's not just
notes.
Knox that you get as a weapon now. You also get the mention of the detective's authority. So if you go look that up, you also find out about another tool that's used to fight mysteries, which is knowing about the detective's authority and what that means.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
The parameters of a detective character and what they're allowed and not allowed to do, typically.
Yeah. Like the implications of this specific character being the detective, or this specific character being the detective. Like just being the detective, that role comes with a lot of consequences for what is true and what isn't in the story that you're presented.
Which also, I think that actually reminds me of something really funny about Erica in this particular set of chapters too, is because she has been cast as the detective, she presupposes herself as sort of the main character of the episode. She conducts herself in such a way that is supposed to be like, I'm the hero, I am the protagonist, I'm tearing down the evil Natsuhi. And when anybody else steps in to have a shonen moment, she's like, shut the fuck up. Stop. This is my job.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god.
It's just really funny. Like, as soon as, Battler kind of steps up to the plate to be like, all right, I'm gonna explain it. And I'm paraphrasing, but there's this bit of dialogue where, Erica's basically kind of trying to hurry him up. She's like, all right, yeah, we get it. Stop showing off. And Kyrie says, oh, is only the detective allowed to show off? And she's like, fuck you.
Shut up, you fucking NPC. Why is Lucy Run playing? What the hell? Shut up. Shut up. No.
Oh my god. To Erica, they're all NPCs.
I'm not cringe.
Yeah, I truly, I feel like Ryukishi is the type of writer, not to suck his dick too hard, which I guess we already do. This is a whole podcast about this. Thank you, that's what it sounded like. But, it's fascinating to me that he has told the same story 5 times now, and he somehow invented the character Erica, and I just completely, just reinvented the story. And now you're just like, oh man, this is not about, of course you're trying to solve, how was it done? The setup of EP5 is just fascinatingly interesting. You're kind of, not, in a villain's mind, but you're in a person who's trying to plot all of these, incompetent they may be, Nazi, but, she's trying her best, trying to, cover all her asses, and meanwhile, a person who's supposedly, be the triumphant, I am the person who solves all the mystery, is, Erica, who's just, an asshole, completely.
EP5 is like, okay, you've heard of who done it, what done it, and why done it. Now, get ready for what the fuck, Erika?
Exactly. It's just
so
fascinating. True. It's also just hilarious because I know every single Umineko fan has watched Glass Onion, and they just couldn't shut the fuck up about how they're this is just my favorite media, Umineko no Nakukoro ni.
Okay, but can we talk about how fucking similar they are for just 2 seconds? 1, you have someone disguised as someone else running around, and it's only revealed till later that you're using a different name. 2, the island blows up. 3, this with the presence of these clues, this case was possible for Benoit Blanc. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen?
Are you fucking
rich assholes?
Really? Damn, I should have watched that before you said that phrase.
Wait, did you not watch Glass Onion yet?
No,
No. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Wipe your memory.
It's fine. I'll forget about it in 3.2 seconds.
Yeah, no. Go watch Glass Onion. You're gonna meet.
Well, now I'll have to wait some time in order to
my
forget.
apologies. I assume.
Or drink. I could also drink.
Shut
I'll
up.
drink.
Just watch it.
Yeah.
It's a good time regardless if you know the plot of it or not. As in
And I didn't give specifics.
It's a certified good time, and Yeah.
Well, you said
I stand by one
Mr.
of the characters is Klaus
Goobler.
Ushiromiya, and I won't say which one. But you know who I'm
Okay.
talking about, if you've watched it.
Yeah.
I do actually like to comment on what we were saying about Erica a second ago too. I think EP5 is really where Umineko kind of starts to show its hand a little bit more in terms of its overall emotional aims, where it lures you in with the promise of oh, you like mysteries, don't you? You want to solve a mystery? Do you want to have a fun time solving a murder mystery? And then the entirety of EP5 is it starts to slap you over the head yeah, that's what I thought. You don't want to solve the mystery. It makes you feel like a piece of shit, doesn't it?
I truly just think about the fact that Yuikishi out here is just the most how do I say, experienced dominatrix of all time, and he's just he's just training your brain. Ryukishi basically just molds you into the reader he wants you to be. What an asshole.
It's so
No
good.
fucking way, Ryukishi's grooming us?
I love... this is earlier on in EP5, but I wasn't around for this discussion, so don't worry about it. One of my favorite scenes in the entire episode, which I think is super representative of this mindset moving forward, is the scene in the what's the fucking word? I can't.
Bar room,
Parlor?
bar
It's not a
Dining
gazebo.
room?
It's
The arbor. The arbor.
Arbor?
Yes, the arbor, where Natsuhi is sitting at the table having tea with Beato, and then Bernkastel comes in and she's like, Natsuhi is sad and lonely and she doesn't actually have any friends. And Battler's
I
like,
can run through
hey,
that right now. Look at her. She's
Right.
12 years old.
And
You made me imagine Bern as a spoiled child just running and pointing, Mom, look, Natsuya has no friends.
but
Truly,
I love,
Bernkastel is the Candace to
Yeah.
Beatrice's
Yeah.
biggest
I love this framing because, like, throughout the entire VN so far, you've sort of been conditioned to look for the lie, right? Like, you've been built up to sort of, like, look out for inconsistencies and see when somebody is coming up with, like, a bullshit story and be like, yeah, okay, that's not real. That's just, you know, this can be explained through this human means or whatever. And then this is kind of like the exact same thing. It's pointing out the inconsistency, it's pointing out the lie, but Battler comes along to be like, hey, like, why do you have to do that? Like, that's not relevant to the case. It doesn't have anything to do with, like, solving the murders. You're just being a prick for being a prick's sake. And now Erica, who is, like, the embodiment of being a prick for a prick's sake, it kind of starts to reframe how you approach the story and the characters. It's like, oh, well, I guess maybe there wasn't a point to, like, tearing all of this away. Maybe there is some important emotional truth that lies within all of this, even if it's not literally true. The same way it goes with, you know, EP4 with Maria's magic and everything.
Yeah.
It's just really cool how it sort of takes you through that mental journey of taking you from being a typical mystery reader to again, what Ryukishi wants you to be.
God, sometimes I think I may be getting burnt out on Umineko. But then this crazy shit. Oh my god, the hell, Umineko.
Umineko's so good. And, like,
It's
the
so
thing
good.
about that scene, too, with Bernkastel being like, haha, no friends, Nazi, what a loser. It's, like, it's very, very effective. It's, like, one of the most, like, effective scenes I've ever seen in terms of, like, getting people to start leaning towards the magic side. Like, if it isn't Erica being awful, it's that particular scene where, like, I saw live my buddy CJ, magic hater, denier since the beginning, didn't want to touch the stuff. He was so against the magic. He wouldn't even budge. He saw that and he took a moment and he was like, Lurf, and I was like, yeah. He's like, I think I am changing my perspective a little bit. If it's not hurting anyone,
the
I
bad
will
guys?
accept magic.
Yeah, are we the baddies? It's like magic is
No,
real.
no.
Like witches are real and are my friend cries.
No,
so good.
I was just like, oh my god, you're a beautiful flower, and I love to see you grow.
I'm
I was-
glad we have you two who have watched like millions of playthroughs of people going through Umineko so to tell us what the scenes are that trigger certain emotional responses in people.
Me and my Let's Play obsession, where I not only watch 50 Let's Plays on YouTube, but I also force like 6 of different friends of mine to read Umineko with me live.
Yeah, it's
I don't know
you
how
know,
you do it.
What is the point of having friends if you can't force all of them to read Umineko?
I got a new one
True.
yesterday.
Oh my fucking
Oh.
god.
Because I was like, it's like Dante's Inferno fanfic, and they're like real, and I was like, basically.
That actually, on that note too, which I'm sure that will be gotten into more in the next book club, but obviously there's also the scene where Knox comes to Battler in the garden in the Golden Land to talk about like, hey, bro, I'm just like doing my job here, no offense. And they sort of start talking about like their philosophies and stuff. And there's, I'm paraphrasing, but there's this little bit where they're sort of commiserating, Battler, Knox, and Virgilia. And she says something about like, understanding magic, and she talks about like, when somebody like puts a candy in Maria's pocket, you could just suss out who it was and say, oh, so and so did it, they like slipped it into her pocket when she wasn't looking. Or you could say like a fairy did it and it will make her really happy. And then Knox is like, yeah, I think it would be really brutish, you know, even if you know in your mind that, like, oh yeah, somebody's probably just saying that to make her happy, it would be kind of like a dick move of you to start like sussing out and be like, no, I have to solve the mystery. I have to find out who put the candy in the pocket and prove it wrong. Like, she's like, the only important thing in this scenario is that it made a child happy.
Yeah, I love that scene because, okay, like, Umineko is so funny to me because, like, basically it prefaces the whole idea about, like, oh, magic means lies, and, like, these are people are lying to you, and, like, why would the reason be people lying, and, like, so on and so forth, right? But, like, in the end of the first EP and the Secret Tea Party, they basically bring up the example of Santa Claus, and, like, in a way, like, magic is Santa Claus. But of course, like, you don't make a very good basically brain connection at that point. You're just like, okay, Santa Claus, lies, blah blah blah, whatever that means. Like, that concept get re-brought up in the is it in EP5 or is it in EP6, where basically Umineko brings you up like all these like fantastical like murder scenes, and it gets boiled down to, would you tell a child Santa Claus isn't real? And then you're like, oh no, it all makes sense.
And Erica answers yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Erica immediately turns around in episode 6 and says, I absolutely fucking would. Watch this.
I would.
Watch this.
Talk about a concept between like women murder by telling fantastical stories to cover up her murder, to child believes like tooth fairies exist and steals her teeth and gives her money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a funny way of like extrapolating, but like it all makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
it's
really,
really good.
like in hindsight, like not all of it, but a lot of like the magic scenes, especially in like episode 3, are really shown through like a kind of childlike lens in a sense, where it's like, oh my god, little bunnies are coming to like shoot people, or like the jellos, oh my god, and just like all of that stuff.
I think that's a good point, actually, because, you know, there is that bit in episode 3 where, like, Beatrice is watching Ava Beato do her thing with Rosa, and she's like, haha, yay, this is so fun. And Battler turns around and is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why do you think this is cool? Are you, like, brain dead? And she's like, what? I thought we were both having fun.
Butler walked into her room where she was having an absolute carnage of a fight with her toys.
Yeah, it's like, it's a very, like, childlike response, like, that sort of almost, naive sort of cruelty where it's like she doesn't recognize.
Or that it's wrong even.
Yeah, because like, you know, like to a lot of the witches, they're literally just playing pretend for the most part, especially like the first 2 episodes. Like, yes, they're brutal, but we know that it's just like, you know, written down on paper. Like, this is like murder fanfic. It's fake. It's genuinely fake. So it's like, you know, like to Beato, this is a fun little murder mystery she's presenting to Valor. She's like, solve my mystery, but I was like, you killed my fucking family in your story? What the fuck?
But you can always extrapolate the meta scenes into like real scenes. You can extrapolate the Eva Beato not valuing human wife when playing with her sister as like Eva, like for Eva Beato it's just a natural order of things that she gets to play around, and Rosa, because she's so superior to game pieces, and to Eva, of course, Eva feels like she's entitled to being the head because she's above all of her siblings. So she sees Rosa as such a minor thing that if you were to write the meta scene, of course you would have Eva completely playing around with Rosa as if she wasn't even someone with a life worth valuing.
Yeah, I think about the scene where Ava kills Rosa a lot because, you know, like, given the whole context, you know, like, Ava, like, you know, like, seems to approach Rosa and is like, hey, Rosa, like, you're still on my side, like, right? Like, remember, like, we grew up together. We're, like, so close. And, you know, like, in, like, you know, the magic scene, we see, like, Ava, like, you know, bringing Rosa up and, like, you know, like, flying with her. And then she forgets Rosa can't fly. And, you know, like, she crashes down. And, you know, like, what happens is, you know, like, Rosa, you know, like, Ava accidentally pushes Rosa and she spears herself on the garden thing. And I think, you know, like, in that moment when we go back to, like, the whole resurrection and stuff where Ava's like, hey, remember all those, like, cool, like, dreams we had as kids? or like, you know, like all the jelly rivers and like big cakes and stuff, like, and I just think it's like a little like tragic that, you know, like her next methods of murder are like all like revolving around like, you know, like stuff they bonded over when they were younger, and like all like the dreams like Rosa told her about and stuff of like, oh, I regret killing you, and I'm thinking about all these childish things now, and fuck, I have to silence Maria, the actual child who's standing right there. And I'm just like, it's, you know, like, it's fucking, it's kind of tragic in a way, I think, because, you know, like, that was kind of like the turning point of, like, no return for Ava, but it started with, like, an actual accident.
I also do think it's kind of funny to be like, we grew up together, when it's like, Ava, you were like in college when Rosa was like 12.
She was like, I was so there for you the whole time.
Yeah, I was actually reading about
so
this
close.
on the Rambling of the Golden Witch, which is one of the best fucking Tumblr blogs of all time.
It's so good.
It's so good. And like it's about like, oh yeah, like if you actually put the perspective about like Rosa's age comparison to everybody else, like these were like some like grown ass adult people who are just bullying like an 11-year-old. Like, why are you guys like this? Like, and like how Krauss like they actually even wrote like how like Eva, like not Eva, Rosa has all these lines about like, oh, Krauss was like a real adult, and he was basically also being like physically violent to her, and I was like, God damn, like what is going on with like you have to be a real like just not having that much going on for you to be mean to a child of this age, and you know it clearly really explains to you how like, you know, Rosa grew up to be the real piece of work she is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it all really, of course, the generational trauma TM ties back to, you know, like Kinzo. Like Kinzo, we know for a fact, was abusive to the older Ushiromiya siblings. And so now that they're adults, but they don't have as much power as Kinzo, but they see another kid, they're like, well, this is how I was raised, and I'm being a role model like Dad was, and now I get to have a taste of this power, and it's just perpetuating that cycle. And then they got that all out of their systems on Rosa. So when they had their kids, they didn't beat their kids, but Rosa didn't have anyone to get that out on, and then Jen Maria,
Yeah,
she's
Rosa
like,
was
it's
on
my
the
turn,
bottom of the
punches
totem
you.
pole.
There's like this scene where they're trying to get into the study, and I mean we'll discuss this in greater detail once we finish EP5 and say like who was in what group, what was what group trying to do. But like going with the assumption that Rudolph was with the people who were trying to enter the study using the, you know, prank murder going around as an excuse to get into the murder. Be it intentional or just a coincidence, the murder did help people get into the study. So there's like this scene where Rudolph's text is like really worried at the realization that they're gonna all die. And if he is acting, well, his sprite isn't acting very well, because his sprite is just using his regular smug expression. It doesn't even have a sweat tear or anything. So I just think it being like the plan is working so well that this man forgot how to act.
Yeah, there's a lot of really weird scenes like that. Okay, wait, what's that thing that somebody else wanted Pokey wanted us to say?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the umbrella thing, yes.
Pokey wanted to say that there's like this scene where Butler and Rudolph are carrying a ladder, and supposedly Shannon is holding an umbrella over one of them, and Cannon is holding an umbrella over the other. But it's like, if they're the same person, then what are they doing? Are they spreading their arms to infinite length just to like hold an umbrella over each of the people carrying the ladder? But it's like Erika is the detective this time around, so anything that happens outside their field of range can be anything.
Yeah, it could just be
the
a
funny
lie.
detective's authority thing.
Yeah,
It's like the meme where I don't remember the name of the profession. It's the one with the funny cow.
What? What's a funny cow? Oh, the illusion of choice?
What? No, the other funny meme with a cow.
That's another funny cow.
With the what's the name of the person that delivers letters?
Mailman?
Mailman? Okay, cow, mailman. Okay, it's what the fuck? Okay, it's what the fuck? Okay, I'm repeating myself. Cow, meme, mailman. I think this meme perfectly describes the inner workings of Umineko. It's called Back at the Barnyard meme. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait.
Did you guys used to watch this show too?
No.
Yes, I know this show. Hang on.
Barnyard
Yard meme.
meme.
This is so esoteric. I'm glad that.
No, I swear to God, it's worth it because it perfectly explains the Erika shenanigans in this scene.
When you
Okay,
show
I cannot
up your
find
knowledge,
it on
but
the
the
GIFs.
teacher already failed you.
I cannot find it on Discord GIFs, so I'm gonna have to send a video. It's this fucking meme.
Oh yeah, it's when the cow's like dancing behind the mailman and the mailman
Oh,
turns
yeah, yeah,
back. Oh yeah,
The
no, that's
mailman
exactly
is
what
Erika,
Umineko's like.
and the cow
Yeah.
is everything.
I'm so excited
That was
just for you
everything.
to edit this part in.
Oh my God, I need to! Yes, Mushroom, thank you!
do.
I will revive my Twitter account after a year of not posting
Yeah,
memes.
no, it's really funny because it's really unfortunate to me. I'm gonna shout out to Des's Twitter account. Des has an amazing Twitter account, and it actually has really funny memes on there. But half of Umineko people decided to somehow block Des for very funny reasons, not for bad reasons. I think Des is good and did nothing wrong, but you
Yes,
did.
I said racial slurs against Go Enjoyers. No, I didn't. That's a joke.
But people should follow Des. Des is funny. Like, he has good content.
Thank you.
I think it's good. Definitely. And also, like, occasionally speaking, if Des ever draws ever again, his drawings are good. I can
Thank
confirm.
you. Thank you very much. Yes, no, basically people just blocked me, I think, because I was very vocal about my disliking of Go and Sotsu.
Des would just pick fights with people and get really mad. It's-
I was on my Erika arc. I'm past that.
We all have an Erica arc at some point in our lives, I think. It's understandable.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're past that.
yeah. it's-
Congratulations on your recovery.
Yeah, I'm more on my Bern arc now. No, I'm joking.
Uh-oh.
That's even worse.
Yeah, okay, more thoughts. I do have more thoughts.
Oh, before we move
why
on
the
from
fuck?
the
Why
umbrella
the
thing,
fuck is this man Butler fucking defending Natsuhi when he himself in text says he knows Natsuhi is lying? What is this man on about? Is it just because he wants to get back at Erika?
Okay. Now,
I have a lot of explanations, but do go ahead, Worf.
I have some thoughts. It's been a little minute since I've read episode 5, but on the last book club, I believe, or yeah, I think it was the last one I was there. I came up with my tiers of the conspiracy going on in the background, in which Battler and the cousins believe they're just pranking Erika, and the adults are using this to get Natsuhi to admit about Kinzo, and then Sayo is doing whatever. So I don't think Battler believes Natsuhi is guilty of anything. He's not aware of the Kinzo thing. He's trying to protect his family like he's always done consistently since episode 1. He's
That's
also
really
trying
funny.
to dunk on Erika because he
so
has to prove
fucking
Natsuhi is
funny.
innocent so he can make Erika feel incompetent because all the cousins hate Erika. Everyone here hates Erika.
That's really funny because that's just the magnitude of the juxtaposition of this man thinking he's just being funny versus the actual impact he's having on the conflict between the people on this island.
No, I don't think Battler's aware of the full gravity of the situation. And then all of the servants use Battler's, excuse here to defend Natsuhi and get back on their train. And then all the adults have to concede because, yeah, if it was that Kinzo, that technically is possible, unfortunately.
I love that explanation. But just in case we end EP5 and come to the conclusion that Butler was actually aware of it, I have another explanation. I hope
Alright.
yours is right, because yours is really funny. My explanation is just, everyone has a natural range of, when faced with a choice, we can be a little bit more of a good person and a little bit more of a bad person. And Butler was just feeling particularly prideful this day. And so, he just chose to be a little quirky, I guess. And this can be explained in the meta layer by the fact that Bern is controlling Butler. And that's just it. That's just my explanation. Because we
Just
know
wanted to flex
pieces
for a little
can
bit.
only act like themselves, but everyone has a natural range, and maybe Butler is just feeling like a bad wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also want to talk about how funny this scene is. I think we had talked about this earlier about how this is a very good microcosm of all of Umineko, and this is why the scene is good. But like, this scene also features incredibly good blue truths. Okay, so like,
You think? Okay, Bluetooth. Okay, yeah, go on. Sorry, I
okay,
jumped the
no
gun.
worries. Like, I like are like good as in the sense of like, there's parts of like EP4 blue truth that are just like bizarrely bad. Like, you're like.
Small bombs.
Like small bombs. I mean, small bombs are real because what are bullets but small bombs of any sorts?
True.
Yeah,
Very
So true.
Or isn't just like bombs just a bunch of small bombs making a big bomb? But like, my point is like there's actually a lot of fascinatingly bad EP4 blue truth that just theoretically speaking, beats, like, whatever Beatrice is saying, but, like, doesn't actually advance any interesting, like, idea. But, like, the EP by Blue Truths are, like, actually is, like, kind of like a return to, like, good EP2 Blue Truth in that way that, like, it's something that's actually not just, like, oh, there's a mysterious room X that you can crawl into, like into this compartment.
Chotomate mushroom, this fucking... Whose blue truths are you talking about here? Because I actually had the complete opposite thought. I was gonna say the blue truths in this episode are S.
Oh, you think
Actual
so?
S.
I want to. Well, I think like
Well, Beatos specifically, whose blue truths are you
I was
talking
just gonna
about?
say Balor, not Beatrice.
Okay. Because my point was that Umineko must really battle hard on you. Because as a rereader, I'm reading this and I'm like, what the fuck, Beato? This is your game? Are you this bad at your own game? What the fuck?
I like
Well,
the
we have to
Which
remember.
then made me think about our discussion about EP9 and how we were like, well, in EP9, Beato is so incompetent. So in both EP9 and in EP5, Beato is playing the mystery side. So maybe Beato is just bad at playing the mystery side.
That's a very
Well, okay.
fascinating way to put it. But yes, so what's your
It
thoughts?
could be. My thoughts are, first of all, this Beato is not privy to the truth of this world, as we've been made aware. And also Lambda Delta is controlling her, which means she can use her funny little, like blue truths that are in line with the character of Beato, but Lambda Delta doesn't have to play her well. Because she's trying to boost up Burn. Like, this is all to this is for Burn.
Yeah, she wants the eternal stalemate, so she wants to kind of craft something that's like, okay, I'll make it a little bit challenging, but not too challenging.
Exactly. And she's also, like the whole grand scheme of trying to frame Natsuki. So if Beato is giving, blue truths that are okay for Beato to give, but not really that great, because Lambda's playing her poorly, it incriminates Natsuki more, which leads to the end game of episode 5.
I always love the idea of Lambda going easy on Bern, but Bern still thinking she's the greatest mastermind of all time.
And in terms of Battler having better blue truths this time around compared to episode 4, I think episode 4 he was still getting used to the rule. And then he saw like Erica using some really good blue truths, and he was like, you know what, I gotta step up my fucking game. And then then Bern had to play him really cool in terms of just like, or it's hard to tell because I feel like Lambda and Bern trade off playing Battler at some points because like why would I guess Bern can be shitting on Erica and also like be like perpetuating the Natsuki thing through Battler. So it could be Battler's blue truths are really good this time around because Bern is playing him.
Yeah. Kind of like, and then Butler on the Meta World saw Bern using him and kind of like learned how to use himself better.
Yeah, I think that's pretty similar because like throughout like the whole like Meta World arc that Battler is going through, he's like actually like sitting down and realizing this is a solvable mystery And we know from earlier in this episode that Battler actually, reads a lot of mysteries and reads a lot of books, even though he doesn't say that. Like, he's a generally very educated person. Even we get that in episode 3 and stuff when he talks about, like, Brawn tubes and stuff. Like, he's decently read. Like, he's a smart person. He just doesn't really apply it. And, like in earlier episodes, he was just, like, filled with anger and he just didn't want to believe in magic. And he just thought, like, Beata was throwing, like, impossible bullshit at him. And was just trying to say that, no, it's bullshit, instead of realizing, oh, you're giving me, like, an actual concrete mystery. Let me use my mystery knowledge to actually, like, sit down and solve this and take, like, an actual critical look at the thing I've been engaging with.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think it's really funny
that
you said that Burn and Lambda might be switching off, because I do think, like, it would be really funny if Burn was in charge of Battler when he, like, romantically calls up to Beato to be like, let me catch you in my arms, sweetums.
I think it's kind of like, since the Game Master is kind of like the Game Master, the DM, whatever
GM, Game Master,
the head person in a D&D game is. Like, it's like Lambda is just autopiloting Butler until the person actually playing Butler says they want to do something with their character, and actually do
you know what? I think Battler is, like, in a D&D sense, Battler is like Erica's familiar, in the sense where, like, the DM is mostly in control of it until, like, the player playing Erica wants to have their familiar take an action, and they say what the familiar does.
Oh.
But for the most part, the DM will roleplay the familiar.
I had a different interpretation that actually shed some light on Baron's psyche, so tell me what you think. Because if Baron is playing 2 pieces, why did she make Butler, who is not originally her piece, one-up Erika before they entered the study, who is her piece? Like, why did they make Butler win the dick measuring competition of mystery novels? And I think that maybe because Bern, knowing herself, knows she would get very competitive if she lost to this person previously, and it would be like kind of a way to fire herself up.
Honestly, I like that
intentionally made
interpretation.
herself lose the pregame.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, she also knows what the tension, or the necessary tension of a story is. So she's like, well, I have to, give Erica some challenges, maybe let her fail a couple of times, so that way, when she wins, when she succeeds, it will be triumphant.
Which she never does.
Well, I mean, it makes for good content. That's the whole point. Like, aren't they just here, but if they weren't starved for content, like, they just want a good drama and, like, something that makes it looks like a fun, tug of war, like, back and forth, makes it have good tension. And I feel like, I like that. It's interesting, the highest highs and the lowest lows that they end up using. I mean, like, I also find it fascinating that, like, in the end of the scene, like, Bern Castell at a point doesn't even, outwardly, quote unquote, take it personally, quote unquote, when, like, Erica gets grinded beneath the feet by people. Like, she just gets in, she also gets to laugh at her, but, like, so, like, clearly, like, she's just like, oh, like, look at her, what a buffoon. Like, I don't know, I find it really fascinating how, like, Lambda and Bern end up, like, taking, like, Beatrice's board and doing weird shit with it.
I actually, that reminds me too, I really like the bit basically at the end of the chapter where Battler is kind of like looking at Erica, who's grinding her teeth, like, losing her shit over her first major L, and he's like, yeah, welcome to the game, it's like that, it's fucking weird. And she goes, instead of being like, how dare you, you piece of shit, like, you humiliated me, she starts getting like, yeah, that's right. Oh, I think I'm starting to have a little bit of fun. Hee 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 hee. Like, she starts going off the rails a little bit. Like, she's trying to psych herself up now. She's like, no, yeah, see, I actually really liked that. I thought it was cool and fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know in terms of, like, because, like, yes, like, Bern and Lambda are 100% there to entertain themselves and, like, have a good time, but we also know Bern's a sore loser. Or
Yeah.
maybe she plays the part of a sore loser to be the villain, because, you know, like at the end of, like all of Umineko and the magic ending, Bird's just kind of like, yeah, I had to play the villain this time, like it is what it is.
I think that's an excuse.
It could be an excuse. It could be. It's hard to tell. I do subscribe to the fact that Bird is actually a sore loser, though, for realsies. So, like, to put herself in a position where she loses, I think, like, she definitely knew that if she lost, she would get extra competitive. But I think, you know, like, having the Erica excuse definitely, like, puts a bit of it off of her, because then she could be like, no, I didn't lose. Erica's fucking incompetent. Fuck you. Can't believe you did this to me. Let me send you to the Shadow Realm.
I'm so excited to get to those points, man. I mean, is there anything else that we want to talk specifically this episode? I think it's a great point for us to close out the episode. We are going to see so much more of Erica, like her iconic moments haven't even gotten here yet. Like, I'm looking forward to reading the end of EP5, but
Oh, actually.
Yes.
Do I get the time to tell everyone what I've been doing now at the end of the episode?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, so in between the many things that I've done for the past 3 months, the one that I want to talk about is fucking Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, because it is supposedly based on. I'll keep it brief. Don't worry, I won't go on a fucking half an hour video essay. It is supposedly based on the Iberian Peninsula, and fact, there are 2 countries in the Iberian Peninsula. One of them is Portugal, the other is Spain. And then Game Freak based their game only on Spain. We got one city. We only got one city to represent Portugal, and it's not even well represented.
Damn.
And you know, everyone knows about the glitch fest that Scarlet and Violet is, the shitty N64 graphics, all the other controversies surrounding the game, and yet my brother bought it. I played it, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon games.
Yeah, I have Scarlet. I just started it pretty recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah, Des, I'm
angry
sorry
at myself
to inform you that, you know, your country is a fragment of your imagination, and it was invented by
A lot
Game
of things are a fragment of the imagination of a lot of people this episode.
Hallucinated it, just like the women.
Just like the women,
Exactly.
exactly. Exactly. Like, you know,
It's
what is Portugal
it's like
but
that
Brazil?
like Finland thing, you know, like the Finland conspiracy, where it's like, have you been to Finland? Have you met anyone from Finland? That Finland isn't real. That's like Portugal. And if you are from Finland, or you have been there, or if you are from Portugal and have been there, you're fed. So
Exactly.
What is Portugal if not the Umineko witch of countries?
Oh my fucking god, yes!
Yeah.
finally some
Yeah.
good representation.
I live in Beato's nostril.
You. Yeah. I think.
I don't know. I think I don't know who said it, but I think it perfectly encapsulates why people are having so much fun with Scarlet and Violet, like everyone did with Legends too. It's just because since it's an open world, no one will have the same experience, and so these kinds of games just create stories, and so you end up
True.
having much more fun.
Honest to God, I thought you were about to say because Portugal isn't in it.
No, that's loves Portugal, man. I feel like the whole reason we
I
started.
don't love Portugal. It's just that after so many instances of people basically negating your existence, you get kind of attached to the small piece of land you live in.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
No, understandable. It's like my whole reason of liking Genshin Impact is because I have weird national.
Yeah, Genshin Impact is a small game. Fuck you, Mushroom. Yeah,
okay,
such a
no,
small
no,
game.
no,
Nobody
no.
knows
It's
about
actually-
it. Indie developer, I know.
No, that's actually something that I say all the time. I'm like, yeah, actually, I would like to say that Genshin Impact is a small gym that people don't know about, because everybody who likes Genshin Impact likes it for the wrong reasons. I alone like it for the right reasons.
I alone like it.
I
for the right
alone.
reasons.
I stand above all of you peasants who
Exactly.
pull for
Yeah, no joke.
girls for their 3D model
Yeah,
boobs and
exactly.
attires.
It's like,
I am Mushroom.
I-
I pull girls because they are from China. Look at Yuji in her adorable outfits. No, I am not nationalistic.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly me. You have clocked me up by 1,000 miles away, or even more than that. But yeah, don't play Genshin Impact, or you're gonna actually sink too much of your life in. But
Don't play Genshin Impact. Don't play Pokemon. Just play Umineko.
yeah, just
That's
play
the thing.
Umineko. If you
Don't play
have time,
Overwatch either.
yeah, if you have time, why would you do anything else than play Umineko? Like, how unfortunate. But yeah.
No, literally.
Okay, so do everybody want to
Yes,
say
it's the end.
closing
It is.
thoughts now?
It is.
People want to say closing thoughts, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the end. It sure is the end.
It sure is the end. My last thought is Umineko good. Umineko's really good.
Umineko good.
Umineko good.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us if you saw an Erika cosplayer at Magfest and didn't know it was Yon and Only Mushroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Next time, come say hi to me. It's really funny because the whole time the wig for my Erica costume is not one wig. It's 3 wigs because it's the wig that's on my head, and both of the twin
the
tails
twin tails.
are both wigs. They're clap-ons. So I would go up to my friend and I would be like, "Watch this," and I would just unclasp my 2 ponytails off of my head, and they would just like be in shock. And it's also fucking heavy. So the whole day I was like walking around
Prosthetic twin
yeah,
tails.
basically whole day I was walking around with my twin tails. I was like, damn, it's like literally crushing my brain. So yeah, this is what you need to know. If you want to be an Erica cosplayer, you will lose brain cells because your wig will be that heavy.
The logistics
Well,
of the
I mean-
Ironic.
That's just part of the immersive experience. Being Erica requires you to lose brain cells.
Yeah, the longer you are Erica, just like Erica herself, you will slowly decompose in your brain.
Oh my god! Yes, Witches of Truth are self-destructive. It all makes sense now. It's in the design.
No, literally. Just look at Angie.
Ryokishi is so giga-brained.
Louis Kishi designed these wigs just to torture me specifically. But yeah, okay, so goodbye everybody. See you whenever the next
Goodbye.
time we're able to record an episode, hopefully in a reasonable amount of time. But we'll do our best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, see ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.